Welcome to PowerPoint 101 Animations. In this tutorial, we'll guide you through the basics of using animations to make your presentations more dynamic and engaging. Learn how to animate text, objects, and images, customize animation effects, and control the timing to create a polished and professional look. Perfect for beginners and those looking to enhance their presentation skills. This video will help you bring your slides to life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more PowerPoint tips and tricks. Let's get started. So PowerPoint has four basic types of animations, right? We have the entrance, emphasis, exits, and motion paths. And so where we're at is here in PowerPoint, we click on animations and we can see the animations that are available. And if we click here, we can see here's those types, right? You can have none, or the entrance, the emphasis, which is changes, exits when the object or text leaves, and then you have motion paths. And we'll talk about that too and how that works. And so you can see they're organized by color to kind of help you understand that. So that's why we have that here. And for this little part right here, where we're going from the green to the red, because that's what the motion paths do. I'll show you how we did that. We go to Format Text, and we'll click on this option over here, and we're just using a gradient stop for the color. So we see it starts with the green and it ends with the red. It's the same kind of thing here, is these motion paths have this green to the red. So it just helps you organize it. So I have some animations here. We have a fly in here. On this text, we're using a motion path with a loop. And over on this, we're using a spin. And let's see what this slide looks like when we play it. These are flying in one at a time because we did it by type. That one's doing its spin, its emphasis, and there's doing a loop. When we're on here, we can see on the animations tab, it must be on the animations tab, you can see what different animations you have. But when you leave here, you don't see those anymore. So we come back here and we'll see for this one, we picked fly in, and we have options here. We can do it as all as one object, right? All of them at once, or by paragraph, which is what each one of those fall under, and you can pick which way you want them to come from. So you may consider adding sound to your animation. And what you can do in the animation, we can right click on this and we can look at the effect options. And we can go and we have many sound effects that we could add to that animation. We add a breeze. We press Now we already talked about the animation pane and a little bit about the effect options. Let's look at the timing. When we're in our animation pane, we can see down here we have a bar which shows us how our animations are playing out when they're in this order. So for this one, we have it set to on click, but for this one, we have it set to run after previous. So we can see that these three are going to run on click, but we might change these to say, you know what, let's go after the previous one and then after the previous one. And by default, the time is set to that it's going to run for 1 second. And so these will run for 1 second, but this one we might say, you know what, it ran, but let's delay it. And you can see the timeline is moving. So when we go into the slideshow and we press from current slide and we'll click the first one, the rest of them are on the timer. There was that delay and then it shows up and it follows the rest of those. And so you can see about how long is your slide animating for. And this might be important for you, especially if you're going to go into transitions. If you're going to go into transitions and you're going to change the advanced slide to run after so many seconds, and I'm going to say after all my transitions are done, about 6 seconds, I can change this and have that slide automatically progress. Or we can have it run on a mouse click. If you're doing a live presentation, you probably want to keep it on the mouse click unless you're having the presentation move forward for you. Layering animations, these techniques, they allow us to apply multiple animations to a single object. Let's look at what this one is doing, and then I'll show you what we did in the animation. So what we have here is we have two things going on. This one starting on a mouse click on click is adding additional animations to an object. And then we have this object. Logo 1 has two different animations here, and then logo 2 showing up afterwards. I could have made logo 1 reappear at the top and come back down, but that would have involved me having it dance around the frame of the board to get back up to the top. And we didn't want to do that. Or doing other things where I'm hiding it and then moving it to the top and bringing it down. I found this way of setting up this animation. We just copied the same logo. It has a different number, and all we did was we just moved it out, and then afterwards this one showed up. So we can see, let's look at this first one. When we click on the animations, we see it's doing a bounce. And then what you do if you want to add multiple animations to an item, you can't just come over here and click on it because it'll change it. Instead, you have to, when you click on your item, you're going to click add animation, and then you get to pick which one you want to do. Oftentimes you're going to enter an item, you might emphasize it after it enters, and then you're going to exit. You might even emphasize it before you exit. Or what we're doing here is we're doing a motion path. We're not making it fade out, which we could have just had it, fly out, but instead we're utilizing the motion path to show you how it's working. And then after that, after it leaves, right, after we see it leave, then we get to see the new one, logo number 2, appears from the top, and we set it up with these arrows here that it's going to end up right where the other one started. Let's talk about interactive animations. In here, we can set up triggers to start animations based on specific actions like clicking a button or a shape, right? So what's important is if you're going to have an interactive animated slide, you don't want the user to be able to just click anywhere and progress the slide. If we do that, if we leave it as it is, and these ones are going, I put my mouse over here, I know this is interactive, but I can click here and I just moved forward in my slideshow. So what you want to do is you want to go to the transitions for this slide, and you want to turn off the advanced on mouse click. Now, the keyboard still works. They can still arrow through, but if we're in here and we do the from current slideshow, my mouse clicking no longer working, so I have to use my arrow keys to move forward in the interactive animations. Now we can also disable that if you wanted it to make it so they couldn't arrow key at all either. What you do is you set up your slideshow and you change it to browse at a kiosk full screen mode. But what we need to do first is we have this kiosk mode is on a click, and that's not going to work for us. So we need to go to animations and we need to say, hey, go after the previous one. So we're making sure all of these play. So let's look at it in the slideshow mode. All of our items are showing up. I can't click anywhere. This one has a mouse over it. I can click on this item. So let me show you how we set up the triggers, right? So in animations, we have a trigger. So we're going to click on this button and we click trigger, and we're going to say, hey, on the click of this logo. And you notice here in the animation pane, it doesn't stay with these other items that were part of that automatic one, right? It's down here as its own trigger. And when we hover over it, we can see that its on-click emphasis is showing that it's a spin. Now, maybe we want to set up this slideshow to where it's going to be like this without the mouse click working. We still want to be able to move to the next slide. So what we can do is, I made a button here called Advanced Slide. It's not doing anything yet. So together we're going to click on here. We're going to click on Link. And in this document, right, because we want to stay in here, we're going to go to the Summary PowerPoint 101. Now, when we go to Slideshow and we do it, we click on this, it spins. Now we can click on here, it's getting advances to that next slide. So we press escape and we come back, and let's talk about this, right? So the turning off the advanced slide in transitions prevents you from mousing, but if you want to prevent them from arrow keying over, then we do that again by setting up a slideshow and doing it in kiosk mode. The kiosk mode is the key part of that for disabling the mouse click and the keys from advancing our slides. Now, if you still set up through to loop through your presentation, you can have it go through multiple slides and you set up the timing for how long you want it to be on that slide. And you can set up your PowerPoint presentation as a slideshow where it just keeps starting back over from the beginning. You run that in kiosk mode on that device and it's going to stay like that. And you won't have any interaction at all. This is great for televisions that are like maybe in your elevator lobby. To wrap up, understanding and mastering PowerPoint animations can significantly elevate your presentations, making them more engaging and dynamic. From the basics of entrance, emphasis, exit, and motion paths to the finer details of customizing your timing, layering multiple animations, and creating interactive experiences. These tools allow you to guide your audience's focus and enhance the storytelling of your presentation. By carefully selecting and adjusting animations, you can create a professional and polished presentation that captures the attention and conveys your message effectively. Remember, the key is to use animations thoughtfully, ensuring they enhance rather than distract from your content. Have a great day.